Alright, a quick little review of the terms diatonic and chromatic. Okay, the word diatonic, you've heard me use it in maybe a couple of previous lessons. It literally means within the key. If I'm talking, for example, if I'm talking about an interval, if the upper note fits within the scale of the lower note, as we've talked about before with intervals, those are called diatonic intervals because the upper note fits within the key of the lower note. Same thing goes with a number of other things. It can refer to notes, intervals, or chords that fall within the scale or key of the music. So diatonic means within the key. Notice the word tonic inside the actual word. Diatonic, it's within the key. All right. So for example, in this melody, the only note that is not diatonic to C major is the F sharp, which has been circled. You know the key signature of C major has no sharps or flats. So if this music was all diatonic, it means it must follow the key signature. So we should have all white notes, right? But since we have an F sharp here, that note is not diatonic to C major. All right, we call that, if it's not diatonic, we call it chromatic. You know the word chromatic. We just talked about chromatic scales in the previous lesson. A chromatic scale uses every single note. It goes up in half steps. Even just think of the word chromatic. Have a look at it. What root word do you see in there? Hopefully you see the word, let me just grab a red pen here. Chroma. Where have you seen that before? Monochromatic painting, right? Chroma has to do with color. So a chromatic scale uses all the musical colors or the musical tones that exist. Okay, that's how I remember the word. If I think of the word chroma, it's the Latin root word for color. So a chromatic scale uses all the musical colors. All right, diatonic, as we said, means it fits within the key. It follows the rules. Chromatic, it has a little bit more color. This is gonna, in this melody, without even knowing how it sounds, you can just tell that this one is going to be a very interesting sounding pitch. It's going to be the little more exotic sound because it doesn't fit. So use that information to your advantage as you're filling out this assignment sheet. Circle all the notes that are not diatonic to the scale of A major in this music. So analyze your musical environment. Look at the key signature first. Know that in the key signature of A major, you have three sharps, F, C, G. Any F sharps, C sharps, or G sharps in this music are fine. They're good. They're diatonic. They're part of the key. This note here is a G sharp. This note there is an F sharp. It fits within the key. Over here at the end of line 1, they put a sharp sign on that G. They didn't need to because there's a G sharp in the key signature, so it's a little bit redundant. But that, in any case, that G sharp does fit within the key signature. It's part of the scale, so it's legit. It works. What you're looking for are notes that do not agree with that key signature or are chromatic to that key signature. Okay, so at the bottom, it says chromatic refers to any note which can be found in the chromatic scale or any note which is not within the diatonic scale. We just talked about that. Write the diatonic scale of G major for 1 octave ascending. Essentially, just write a G major scale. And then at the bottom, now write the chromatic scale beginning on G for 1 octave ascending and compare them. Circle the notes in the chromatic scale that are not diatonic to G major. So you're going to write a G major scale, write a G chromatic scale, and identify in this chromatic scale the notes which do not fit the major scale. Okay, it's just a good exercise so you can really see the differences between a major and a chromatic scale. Have a look at that worksheet, finish it up, and we'll see you next time.